Welcome back to my channel, fellow gardeners. I was just looking at my morning glory and thinking I need to talk about today my 8 favorite plants that you can have during summer. Now, these sort of plants that I've chosen are the ones which are so tolerant, easy maintenance, and basically they flower all the time. So join me and enjoy the 8 flowers that I want to introduce to you. My name is Alice and I'm the Red Soil Gardener. So one of my favorite plants that I just really love, and it's always because of the color. Look at those brilliant colors. I mean, it's almost like a reddish, orangish tint, very dramatic. Now, Wyatt is one of my favorite plants. It flowers all the time. Now, if you are in summer, it's ideal to have because it just adds that color or the brilliance in your garden. Now, the thing about it, it's got these velvety leaves and it does have a good feel to it. Now, with this plant, it does like partial sun. I think a bright, direct sun doesn't work for it. But as partial sun, sort of a bit of morning sun and a bit of shade in the afternoon, it does really, really well. It grows with a rhizome. So any propagations that you need to do do go into the rhizome and propagate from there. Now, another of my favorites, and why I chose this particular plant, it's known as a bush daisy. Now, the thing about this bush daisy, it's so sturdy and it flowers all summer long and all through the year. And it produces these lovely yellow flowers, and it is very sturdy, and you would propagate it in the same way as we do every African daisy. But look at that abundance, and I've had this, and it does get bushier as you keep clipping off the spent blooms. But in the end, sometimes it takes just too long to actually deal with the multitude of blooms. So I just leave it to do whatever it wants to do. But look at this. It's a really good plant to have for the summer, and it brings color. A few days ago, I had the flower of the walking iris, and they've all seemed to have closed up. But this is another plant that is really great for your garden for the summer. Now, the thing about the walking iris, and we've covered it before, is if you look at our channel, is that the beautiful thing is as it flowers, which it did here, is that it starts to mature and then it starts producing its babies exactly where the flower came from. And as it drops, is that it sort of gets into the ground and actually sets itself in the soil, and then you have another baby iris actually happening. So this plant is actually great. It does like partial sun or even shade. This area, which actually gets partial sun, or sometimes it doesn't get that much sun, is the ideal spot for it. So put it under your trees in the summer. Another plant which I've always stays very close to my heart is the salvia plant. And the beautiful thing about salvias is the colors and the vibrancy it brings into your garden. I've had this one here for almost 4 years. Okay, it's in the pot, but basically when it does flower, it just shows you everything. Now, what I usually do with the salvia is, as I'm walking past, I just take away the spent flowers. And the more you remove the spent flowers, you get more blooms. So as I go here, I just look for those spent flowers and just nip them off. Another salvia, my super salvia. This is the hot lip salvia. Oh, I just love it. But the beautiful thing about it, it does look like a lip once it matures. You have different colors, so it starts off, I think, as white and then eventually pink, and then the finale is your lip. This is amazing because the thing is that it is so hardy, flowers all the time. The butterflies love the salvia plant, and it's good for drama. Everybody asks me, what is that plant? Another scattered salvia. I'm addicted. This plant again is that all you need to do is nip it and it does produce its flowers all the time. So once you get the spent, remove it. And then what happens also, you can go down and cut it so if your bush is a bit scraggy, and then you get it much fuller. Another addiction. So this salvia here is a white variety, and look at that. And it has a little bit of a pinkish tint. Now my thing is that I didn't want to cut it down, but I will cut it down so it gets bushier because it's overcrowding the space. But what a beautiful color. Another salvia. Now this variety again, I've kept it under the tree, but it still does produce its flowers. Once the sun does come out, everything starts to bloom. Another of my favorite plants, which is great for the summer and it flowers all summer long, is the chateau daisy. Now this is related to the oxeye daisy, which we've talked about, but the beautiful thing about it, it's flowers and flowers all the time. You need to deadhead it, and when it does get full, you do separate it through division, which we've done in one of the episodes, and then just spread it around. Now what I did during that hot heat wave is that it had completely almost gone down. But what I did is I just put a lot of mulch, compost and organic stuff on top of it to shelter it. And suddenly it's back, it's beautiful. One of my favorite and faithful flowers. We had our heat wave, it continued flowering. We've had the rains, it's in abundance. This is the ideal plant for cottage gardens, just to add that color. Now again, if you want more blooms, you do the pinching, just get rid of those spent flowers. And if yours is quite scraggy, just do, as we said, is pinching and let it fill out. Now the thing about the pentas is actually quite easy to propagate, is actually cutting a bit of the stem and using the nodes in water. But apart from that, abundance, and I truly recommend that this is the plant you need for the summer. Another of my favorites, the African daisy, and we've done propagation on the channel. We've talked about it. Now this is the ideal plant for the summer because I have this variety which has those beautiful flowers, and here I even have this one which has a lovely lilac flower. Now with the African daisy, what happened during our famous heat wave is the flowers actually went into seed production, and we've seen how the seeds look. And all I did is I collected so many of the seeds and I actually stored them. So in a way, having them in summer where they bloom all the time is when they do go into seed production, collect the seeds and then you can use it later. One of my favorite and sturdy plants. Now, my favorite, and I think we all love canna lilies, and you may wonder why I'm pointing at it here, because I do have canna lilies in the garden. But why I did this is because I have this lantana, which is flowering, and it flowers all the time, the lantana. Now what I decided to do, because my sitting room is there and I have my sliding doors, is I wanted to be able to sit there, see the lantana and have my sprouting lilies. But I totally do recommend, and they come in beautiful colors. I've managed to just get the dwarf ones, and once those start flowering, because they're yellow and red mixed, is I will put it on Instagram. And do get yourself a canna lily because they're so hardy and they are strong and they're faithful to the last. So fellow gardeners, thank you so much for joining our channel today. Now these are my favorite plants, and I hope I do recommend, do try these plants because they're totally easy to manage and they do flower all summer long. And any questions that you have regarding the propagation, just go into our channel. We've covered all these flowers. And so don't forget to like and share and press that notification button. And don't forget to subscribe, invite your friends and your family. Do know that we are on Instagram. I answer all the messages. We are on YouTube. I love receiving your messages, so encouraging. And don't forget, we are also on Red Soil Gardener Facebook, and do drop us a note, and I'm always there for you. Do get these lovely colors and just lighten up the mood in your gardens. Thank you so much, and have a colorful day.